All good, bro. No worries. Yo, yo, yo. My boy Jeff, what's good? Yo, is this clear? I just got an iPhone 10 also, so I think the camera's a bit cleaner. Lorenzo, let's get this bag. Always trying to get the bag, bro. Dreadlocks coming soon. Actually, I took them out because I didn't like how, the size of all of them were, so I'm gonna try to get it back. And my shits were like probably 60% locked. And I just took it all out. Oh yeah, you already know. What's the media live video? I wanna try to get like, alright, I'm gonna do like a few, let's say random people to join my live real quick. You know what I'm saying? They could say what's good or some shit. Who wants to get on my live and say what's good to all my followers? And hold on, wait. Let me show you guys this hat also. Cute Thugs in Harmony. Nah. Hold up. Nigga, stop. This fucking dog, man. It's trying to bite up lip women. Alright. You already know. Clean house. Crib clean. You know what I'm saying? Alright. I got all these hats right here. You already know. So far, these are all just like one of one, really. Sexy ass house, appreciate that. When are you gonna do a course in Spanish? Actually, the partnership with the Spanish course is gonna be launching probably September 1st. Once everything is sorted out with paperwork and that kind of shit, and we get the whole agreement settled. So I'm gonna be announcing that like September 1st. So it's gonna be kind of dope. I don't know, everybody's pretty much excited. They've been asking me like, "Yo, Q, we need a Spanish course." I got y'all. And the person that's going to be doing a Spanish course, they're going to be like official partner of Wall Street Academy, which means that they're going to be under the Forever and Profit brand itself. So it's going to be major. Trying to see who requested to get on my live real quick. What's good? Do I use candlesticks? Man, I love to East Africa. What's with the guy always beefing with FIP? What do you do to him? What guy? Hold on, wait. EAZYTSA. What guy are you talking about? I know there's one guy that Hey, fuck with it? Nah, I'm getting back my hair, but I just had to do something because I had a big ass afro, and I couldn't deal with that. Everybody that tries to beef with FIP, more than likely they got kicked out and they start hating. So I mean, can't really do much about it. Check DM later. Nah. All right. Somebody requested real quick to get on live. Hold on, wait. Let's check out Edward real quick. Actually, Nathan. Let's see. He's talking about real quick. Not gonna go live for like long with other people. You know, probably like a couple minutes, that kind of shit. Yo, what's good? I can't hear you, man. Hold on. I can't even hear you. Hold on. Your microphone, I can't even hear you. All right.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's good?
Yeah, it's good. Like I've been trying to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Just your course is lit, fam. I'm also a member of the Technical Prosperity.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
over by Ryan's side, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and yeah, his course is pretty lit too. Like both of your courses are good. Uh, I don't know, like is it? Am I still classified as a member under the whole brand or anything like that, or no?
You're under the brand of Forever and Profit because Technical Prosperity is still owned by Forever and Profit, but you're not under Wall Street Academy because Wall Street Academy is like its own subgroup also. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Damn. That do you guys like have a meet and greet like coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, I might be doing a meet and greet soon. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's been a couple months and everything, so I might be doing one maybe like mid-September or something like that. So let's see what happens.
That's straight lit. Like, I just want to say this, like, everyone who's getting into Forex right now on that road, it's an awesome road, man. Like, I've started, like, I'm 21. I started it, like, a month ago, I'd say, and I'm already profiting, man. You just got to put in the work.
Hey,
It's an awesome road. I'm glad I found you guys. I'm from Jamaica as well.
okay.
So, yeah, I fucked with y'all, like, so much. And, yeah, keep up the good work. Y'all course is lit. I'll
Appreciate that, man.
recommend everyone to you guys, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it, and thanks for the
No
support.
worries. Have a good one.
All right, bro.
I'm
Peace.
out. Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I definitely love the support. Buildings team. I'll stop by. Go live with me. FX billionaires underscore. I was taught by Q. What's your real name? Please start signals for people who can't afford to buy the course. Hey, bro, please start signals for people that can't buy the course. It takes too much time for fucking signals. Like, goddamn, like signals, it requires too much time out of my fucking day. I feel like you got to keep up with it, that kind of shit. Then you're dealing with more people. I try to live stress free. Oh god, I'm in the airport right now. Hey, Jamie, my boy Jamie's about to come down. We have a big, well, not really we, but I'm not gonna be a part of it, but I'm gonna be at a big event tomorrow called EntrepreneurCon. I'm not sure who's gonna be going, but it's gonna be major. Grant Cardone's gonna be there. Jason Stone is gonna be there. A lot of people's gonna be there, so it's gonna be fucking dope as shit. Definitely some people that I watch their videos all the time and everything. People that actually inspire me as well. So, who plans on going to EntrepreneurCon tomorrow? One second, days. Yeah. Start trading. Quick question. How did you get started with your career? Self-interest, really. Self-interest, and then pretty much having a vision for a brand and just going along with it. You know what I'm saying? I've been trading for a little while now, and yeah, just being interested in something and then just going full fledged with it, dropping everything else, focusing on one thing, and that's about it. So a career doesn't have to be, something that you actually go to school for. It could just be something that you're interested in and then give it your full time. Checking in real quick. Yo, Brandon, what's good, bro? Grant is a serious guy. He's so straight. Yeah, Grant's actually gonna be opening the event tomorrow, so it's gonna be kind of dope. He's trying to get everybody fired up, like off rip, so it's gonna be dope. Grant is a serious guy. Where is it in Miami? I think it's at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Exactly. BCB_4, my boy. He said, learn the skill, fuck signals, WSA shit. Bag. Facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because signals, listen, I'm not going to handicap anybody out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be damned if I handicap anybody, because once a person starts to take too much signals, then they just get, dependent too much. The only signal service that I actually think is pretty cool, Ryan Zone, only because he's under the Firm Profit brand. You know what I'm saying? So he caters to people that needs that kind of stuff. But me, I'm good. I'm not gonna go against my word on how I do things, just to please somebody else. I could really care less. Did I quit with the dreads? Nah, man. I just have to. I'm gonna get them redone. Hold on, wait. I'm trying to see who actually requested to get on live real quick. All right, let's check out this dude. Let's check him out real quick, see what he's talking about. Comes in on. Yo, what's good?
What's up?
What's good, man?
What's up, man?
Chilling, man. Starting the day. What's going on?
I'm actually pulling up in the parking lot at my job right now, actually.
Hey, the grind mode, man. Grind mode. Where do you work?
I work for Wells Fargo.
Oh, lit. Okay. You're on the right track.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I never actually I've spoken to you before in messages, but I never actually thought I'd actually be speaking to you.
Hey, man. I just love being spontaneous, you know what I'm saying? So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to be ready,
that's
man.
True.
But yeah, man.
I have a quick question for you. I got a quick question for you, though.
What's good?
I understand, you do Forex and you love doing Forex, you love what you do. I understand that and everything. However, my question to you is, if you could, if there was something you could have done differently to improve your skill your current skill that you already have, if there's something that you could have done differently in the past to have improved your skill to what it is now, what would it be?
I like that question a lot. I like that question a lot, honestly. I felt like if I personally feel like I had I put a lot of people in front on my journey, as far as certain times when I wasn't focused on my skill the entire time. I kind of just put certain people in front, and then it kind of knocked me off focus. So when you're on that journey, or when you even decide to even start this journey right here, because it's not like a game, when you decide to start, and you're smoking before work, you're lit. Okay. No, but once you decide to even start this journey right here, you really have to go into a shell, you know what I'm saying? Really just focus, because all you need, I literally focused for I'll probably say about 4, 5, 6 months just being by myself, you know what I'm saying? And just put all that shit in straight chart work. And that's what really actually made me get that breakthrough. But it could have been a lot sooner if I didn't really put people, ahead of me when I was going through that whole journey right there. So
okay, and so and you said you would study for for several months. So you're studying exactly.
What
Can you
do I
walk
study?
me through exactly?
Everybody always asks me that. So So pretty much, what I talk about whenever I'm studying is me just being on charts, me just going through my technicals, making sure things can be as accurate as I would like them, me actually going over a certain setup that I could have caught that I didn't catch, and me trying to figure out like what went wrong, what I could have done to even take advantage of that opportunity. You know, it's like really understanding every situation that I come across inside the market and seeing how I can actually capitalize off of it. That's my kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as if I'm studying some kind of book or some shit. Like people always ask me all the time, like, "Hey Q, like, what are some books to study?" I'm like, I don't really study any kind of books really. It's more just a lot of fucking chart time. So yeah, exactly. Back testing, literally back fucking testing. Like that's all I used to do, just to see like how could I have caught this opportunity, that opportunity. So every single time that I'm actually going about it, I'm noticing certain things that happen inside the market that makes me catch on to things a lot more. So whenever you guys see me post, I can catch like almost every single move that a certain peer is doing if I'm really focused on it, because I've already seen this situation many times from all that back testing that I've done inside the past.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And my last question to you is, when you first started studying Forex, because I remember I watched a video of you. You said that you first started on like doing binary options, I believe, and then
stock options.
Yeah, stock options.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you switched over to Forex. So when you first made that switch to Forex, exactly what materials or what items did you come into contact for you to study? Like, was it like?
So
like,
good question again. So pretty much with that, I understood the concept. All right. So understanding stock options, you understand the concept, which is the biggest thing and the most important thing to every single person. I would feel like that's trying to get into trading, because you got to understand that the concept is simple as sell high, buy low. That's just the concept. That's just the concept. So beyond that, you got to figure out how can I actually take advantage of that concept by trying to make money off of that. And from there, like we all was kind of like put into this group like a while back and everything called W3A, which actually they focused on like the market making method like back then. So that was like the first like kind of like style that actually came in contact with. Dabble a little bit, but then I noticed that it wasn't consistent. It was terrible. A matter of fact, terrible, and it made trading complicated as fuck. So from there, that's when I started to study technical analysis and pretty much started going about that my own way. And then trying to figure out how I could take advantage of the market by knowing and understanding my technicals based off of like my precision and time frame correlation, all the other shit. But that was just the transition by itself. Just trying to figure out what works best for me, and trying to figure out also like what other people look for when they're inside the market as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But
all right. Well, I appreciate you answering my question.
Gotcha, man.
But I don't mean to cut you off, but I kind of got to go.
No, it's all good.
All right. Later, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate it. Peace. Yeah. Yeah. So with the market making method, like it makes trading complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like it made everything seem hard as shit. And yeah, it just made everybody get a headache, I feel like. And yeah, man, so that's how I pretty much went about it. And I just went on and started my own journey with technical analysis. And then, yeah, you kind of develop your own style over time. But like my style has, I've taught thousands and thousands of people. So yeah, hold up. Cut off to you. It's all good. It's all good. You gotta go to work. So no worries. My boy.
What's up? Sorry, I'm just walking down my stairs. I was in the washroom when I was listening to you. Sorry.
Oh yeah. What's good?
What's good? How you doing, buddy?
Chilling, man. Trying to start the day, man.
I've been up since 6:30, man. My day is. I'm taking a nap soon.
6:30. Why 6:30?
Every morning, man. We were on the webinar 6:30 in the morning doing New York session.
Oh God.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy because like I wake up at 7. I start doing like my Wall Street Academy CBDs, which are kind of like the chart breakdowns, like around 7:45. Then I post that by NY session.
It's interesting though, because so we were talking about this the other day. The market is shifting because before there used to be a lot of movement around 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m.
Yep.
But now it's shifting to like 9:15, 9:30, like 10:30. So you're right in that.
I was thinking like 8:30, like
Yeah,
8:30
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, because we noticed that when we were working through the different like just through the different days, that like we would sit there and normally like 8 o'clock you get that push because it's New York session open, but then like it just dies. And then 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock, that's when you start to see the real moves.
Yeah.
And normally you're trying to log off by like 10:30,
Yeah.
and then there's like a huge push, and you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Listen, it's been happening to me every single fucking day this week, right? Right?
Yes, yes, and that's what I think institutions are catching on. Like I think there's something going on where the algorithms are starting to catch on to where everything's moving. So we've just started to adjust again. Like I told everybody, just start adjusting.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt.
Just keep adapting. Because people are like, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, I don't really want to wake up at 6:30 anymore because those moves are dead. I work like exactly what you said. Wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then catch those moves afterwards, right?
Yeah, because I feel like this is what actually makes a trader right here, because this is like it's kind of like you adding on to your skill set, because you're trying to like trade in different conditions of the market. So now it's like now I have to go back to back testing now. A lot more back testing, a lot more patience, a lot more confirmation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The other thing is too, what we're noticing, and I've been paying attention to this more, is the movement of the market in terms of like towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a like Thursday seems to be like a huge pullback day, and then Friday it'll continue the move. But then once again, because of the price levels we're in, especially with gold right now, gold is really deep. And Trump turned around and said today he wants to devalue the US dollar, which is going to prop it up. But then it's funny because when you look at the technicals, you're at a monthly low.
Exactly.
And it's like, it's so coincidental. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you guys have to make it this obvious?
See, and it's crazy because I spoke about that this morning on my CBD, because I was like, it's crazy that you have Euro USD, USD JPY, GBP USD, all these fucking pairs are just like dropping, like inverse pairs, all other shit, they're all dropping. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, goddamn, all these pairs are going the same direction, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, like what's going on? Yep. Oh.
But yeah, so I mean, it's just things like that and everything that kind of make me very wary on like what's to be expected of the markets for these next couple weeks, these next couple months.
Yeah, it's funny. I was on the phone this morning because I was on conference calls this morning. My liquidity reps are flying into Toronto to come visit me.
Okay.
In September, which is weird because so when I opened my brokerage, I was like small fish, right? Like people, like they didn't listen to me at all. Like I'd be like, guys, I need more flow, I need this, I need that, and they'd be like, oh yeah, we'll get to it. Like these guys are just total assholes.
Wow.
I called them this morning. They're like, yeah, we need to come meet you. We're gonna sit down and talk to you. And I'm like, okay, something's going on because like the flow in my brokerage has increased. Like obviously there's more people trading, but I think I'm going to get inside goods on what's going on in the market because he was telling me there's a club in London, right in the financial district, that he said, when you talk about who's running the show, it's that club. Yeah. And he's going to tell me more about it. And I didn't even realize this. And I knew, obviously, like the market manipulation is there. Yeah. But to what degree? Because honestly, for me right now, what's happening and what I'm learning is that, oh, what's going on? He disappeared.
Yo, can you see me? No. Somebody called me. That's why and fucked it up. So I don't know who called me, but all right. Let me get off real quick, and I'm gonna get right back on. So everyone that's watching right now, get back on in like 1 minute, okay?
I gotta take a screenshot and send this to you.
Yo, listen. I don't know what's going on, but I can't see myself either.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All right.
Oh. I don't know how it looked on y'all end, but I just had like a black screen, so I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know what I was, like, what I look like. Back from the dead. I gotta wait for Uncle Ted to request it again. Yo, where do you live? South Florida. What happened to yo, Nick? God damn, why you guys asking questions? Nah, I redid it. I redid it. Some tips. Okay, here goes Uncle Ted again. Oh yeah, big hack. If you plan on going live anytime, go on Wi-Fi and put your phone on airplane mode, so nobody can call you.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's good. We just saw like some picture of some old African man standing there. I was like, man, Q,
What the
you go in
fuck?
the future? Yeah, you went into the future, bro.
You gotta show me that.
No, I didn't send it to you yet. I'll send it to you after.
Oh God! Wow! Wow!
It's just like, and then it's like, your guys, I'll be back. I'm like, oh man, maybe Q's got it.
I went to the friggin' time machine, bro.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what you're gonna look like when you're 90, eh?
Oh, I'm gonna look like this.
Yeah, yeah. You don't age, man. You don't age at all.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, so basically, what I've learned in the last 9 months running a brokerage is everything's fucked up.
Okay,
Everything is very, very shady,
that's good to
and
hear.
it is. But if you know the game, you know how to play it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and this is what I've learned is the banks are shady too. And I think, like, when people talk market manipulation, and now that I know, like, this rep is coming to visit me, and he's talking about saying that there's this club in London that sort of, that's where money moves from, and that's how the banks move money.
Yeah,
I'm starting to think that, like, obviously we know these moves are baked in, but I always try to figure out, because the question always remains, in an deregulated environment or a decentralized environment, how does everybody know to move everything the right way, right? Because if you're on like five different brokerages, you're on five different brokerages, it's the same prices, right? You get the same price at the same time. Maybe it's like one or two pips off because of spread or whatever, but it's relatively the same thing, right? So you can't say that the brokers are manipulating price. They may pull your stop when it's close, but that's them doing that with their programming that they have.
yeah.
And then when you think about this, so I thought about this a little bit afterwards when I got off the call, because I mean, it's like he almost tipped his hat, where it's like, okay, so is it they get together and they have like a centralized system where they can turn around and say, okay, we're moving price because every liquidity provider sees all the orders in the system, right? So like people ask me all the time, they're like, do you see all the orders? I'm like, I don't see orders. All I see is order flow. Like, I can tell you how much money is going into it, but I can't tell you what other brokers are doing. Like, I can only see what my brokerage is doing. But I'm thinking now these liquidity providers, because everybody uses the same liquidity providers essentially, right? Like, depending on what you use, like Credit Suisse, Barclays, whatever you see, like they're all the same providers. And what you do is you call a rep, and the rep basically packages you a deal, and that's how you get your flow. And then you basically pay for your flow every month. But now what I'm thinking is, because when you see that movement, it's almost like they have like the master control switch at their end. And when they start losing too much, that's where your Thursday reversal comes in, right? Because because think about it, like from a conspiracy theorist, right? Like say GJ, right? It dropped all week this week. It dropped to 139. So
it dropped almost like 500, 600, 800 pips.
Right.
These past couple weeks.
That's right. So when you think about that, what happened on Thursday? It started to drop, and then it ripped right back for no reason. Because you figure the whole week it's dropping. What changed in the momentum? And when you see that information, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, essentially what's happened is they can see all the orders that are still in the sell.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you look at your weekly, if you look at your weekly time frame, like 139 was probably like a key level. We tapped it. In most instances, we drop, but 140 is a psychological level, so you know there'll be a pullback.
Exactly.
But from a swing perspective, it shouldn't have pulled back all the way to like 141, right? And then when you look at it, right, and so in my head, I'm like, there was just probably too much juice on that one side that they had to be like, okay, they track all the orders, they look at all what's going on, they're like, okay, we've got like 60 whatever, just hypothetically we have $6 out of like $10 in the market all driving this one pair down. We got to reverse it. And if we reverse it, our reward ratio will be $6. So we're risking like $5 to win 6. That's what they're doing. They're like, okay, we know that there'll be some people that'll be stubborn that'll hold it because they're swinging a long term, like maybe off the weekly or the monthly. But the most people will freak out because what are they? They're all retail traders.
Yeah.
They're going to get blasted out of the market, and then Friday will resume because now our risk levels have gone back down to normal. Because they have to let you win, right? They have to let you win to keep you in the game. But when that happens, it's like, are you smart enough to stay out, right? Because that's how they can afford to pay you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what happens is because I look at people like yesterday, it was like basically people were just falling off the cliff.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, GJ is going down. And then it just kept ripping up, 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 up. And people were like, how far is it going to go? You don't know anymore. But it doesn't make sense because when you look at the overall time frame of like the weekly chart, you're like, we've just had like 3 weeks of dropping. Like on a Thursday, now we're reversing the whole move. Wow. Like it makes no sense. And then when you look at GJ today, where is it? The weekly's back down to a bearish formation, and you know next week it's going to continue.
Oh God.
So like that's the kind of levels I think at, like when I think of that stuff, right?
Let's check it. Oh my God. See, that's why like I personally I don't like GJ. If I ever trade GJ, I'm gonna trade it with like a super low lot size than normal because I'll be damned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like when you look at if you look at like UJ versus gold, why is UJ moving the same as gold, right? It's the same stupidity.
That's wow. This dropped over 677 pips, max around 718 pips these past like 12 days?
Yeah. And then, well, think about it this way. So what we talk about is we talk about like when I look at probability, because I trade probability basically, because I mean that's essentially what trading is.
Yeah.
You look at GJ's average daily movement; it's close to 90 pips a day, right? So you're looking at like 900 micro pips a day. So like the other day when it was only at like 45 or 35 pips, you're sort of like, okay, we've still got like about another 30 pips to go, right, throughout the day, because normally what will happen is London will start to move and then it'll pull back a bit and then New York will continue to move. So when Thursday happened, it was like, okay, the normal market manipulation, we know that they didn't like 139. But then when my rep called me this morning and we started talking about just flows, because he's like, okay, we're moving you to another set of liquidity. We're gonna come meet you in Toronto and we're gonna sit down and talk with you for a couple of days about sort of the business, because they don't understand how the business has grown this big. I'm like, well, social media, la 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 la, and it was just like, when he started saying things about like the banks and manipulation, then it dawned on me when I went back to my charts. I'm like, there's somebody fucking pulling the switch on this shit. Like it's legitimate. 1,000% now. It's true.
Itself, so
yeah, it is. It's a full business in itself. But now the thing is, people are like, well, trading sucks. No, trading's awesome, because if you recognize that, you just make your money and then you just get out. Right? Like you turn around and just keep taking clips out of the market, because then what they're doing is they're looking at saying, okay, Q made like $5 today. We can pay Q because we saw like people lose $25. But if people had not lost $25, they would not pay you.
I can get paid.
That's right, because what they're going to do is they're going to manipulate it until they can have enough to pay you, and it's still within their risk profile. That's where my mind goes, because obviously I have nothing better to do all day. But that was what I was thinking, because I'm like, how does a move reverse the entire day? Like, how do you have a full day reversal out of the blue? Like, where does it come from?
Look, somebody said that they love your conspiracy theories. They want to smoke with you because you think so.
I don't smoke though. I don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, they could.
I want to smoke with them. Oh wow, that is hilarious.
Yeah, so
no, but it's crazy, man, because like the markets these past couple, I'll probably say these past couple weeks have been like very, very different, and it's like just to adjust to it, it takes a little bit of time. But I mean, that comes with you just being on the charts and actually trying to like figure things out. You know what I'm saying, based off your current style and whatnot.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, we were talking about this morning, because now like Rakil does live webinars for Twitch, right? And he's getting on there. And it's just like, you got to recognize, like, when you take your profits, and this is the biggest mistake traders make, is they say, okay, they look at you and they're like, oh, you traded for like X hours and you made money, right? So when people turn around and say, okay, I traded for 5 minutes and I made $100, you didn't technically trade for 5 minutes. You executed for 5 minutes, but the analysis and the footwork to get there was a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But people forget that, right? So what I've been trying to tell people is you have to log your total time in front of the charts from analysis to execution. Because if you realize that, you were probably in front of the charts for a couple of hours and you made $100. It's not like you made $100 in 5 minutes. The execution part was 5 minutes.
See,
but
I never
the overall,
thought about that before. I never ever thought about that before, honestly, because
you have
for hours and then I'll probably execute,
Right, and your execute is probably very good, and you make a good profit on it. But you have to look at all the back end of the time that you've done that, because otherwise you're going to get sucked into the fact that, oh, I traded for 5 minutes today, I made $1,000. No, you didn't trade for 5 minutes today. You executed for 5 minutes. You did the analysis for 8 hours. So technically speaking, you only made maybe $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Right? That's what changed my mindset too, because it prevents you from over trading, because that's what happens is you get sucked back in, right? So you can trade, like we traded New York Open, GJ dropped like 15 pips, right? So 150 pips, everybody makes bank. And then what people are doing, oh, when's the next trade? Where are we looking at? But it's like, whoa, hold on a second. Like we just made money. You're done. Like you don't have to go back because we sat here for an hour and waited for this trade.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people don't think about that, and that's what scares the average person, because even like when you look at a job, and everyone always compares it to a job, it's like how much you make in 8 hours. It's like, oh, I made $50 in 8 hours, or whatever the hourly rate is, or minimum wage. But take a step back and realize, like, hey, you worked for 3 hours. Set yourself an hourly rate goal.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing like this week I think I did like 22K, right? But then I docked my time. I was averaging $500 an hour because I worked for 22 hours this week, right? So it's not that I made $22,000 this week and everyone's like, oh, that's amazing. But it's like, okay, what's my average hourly rate? And if you work on that aspect, you'll find you'll become more consistent, because I know my average hourly rate is between like $300 to $1,000 an hour. So if I stay within that medium, I know I'm on pace. I'm good, because I log my time. Like when I wake up in the morning, we usually work 6:30 till like 10:30. So that's, basically 4 hours every day, right? So I traded 4 days this week, so 20 hours.
Yeah.
But it's like people don't think that deep into it.
How often do you actually execute based off of you actually analyzing from like that 6 a.m. time through so-and-so?
Okay, so this is sort of my routine. Sunday, I give myself a roadmap, and I'll say Sunday, okay, these are the pairs that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at GJ, UJ, gold, whatever I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll say to myself, okay, this is my outlook for the week. I have that in front of me when I execute on the dailies, right? Because then what I'm looking at is on the daily, like say for example on Sunday, I said I wanted gold to go to like 1178. That's what I was thinking this week. Because I said, what did I say? I said basically in my analysis to my groups is I said, okay, we're at a support at like 1205, because we opened gold on Sunday at 1210. Okay. I said if we break 1205, we're dropping down to like 1187 and then eventually 1170. Because if you look on the weekly, you'll see like different price levels at that point. But man, the thing dropped in literally like 12 hours. It dropped to like 1197, 1196, right? Fast. So yeah, it was going faster than I thought, right? So then when you see that happening, it's like, okay, now I have to go to my secondary analysis, but my analysis also covers how much the average move is for that week. Yeah. Because I don't want to counter trend. But I also don't want to get caught at the bottom of the trend. Yeah. Because then you're sort of, it's almost like going to the buffet. Yeah, it's like you're going to a buffet. You show up to the buffet at 5 p.m. so you get the fresh food. Yeah. You can still show up at 8 o'clock, but what ends up happening is you get like the foods that's not that fresh. Yeah. Right. So that's exactly it. So that's exactly it. So it's sort of like the way I approach trading. I approach it with the same idea. Is okay. This is my idea for the week. If we already hit that idea for the week, I sort of get confused. Like I sort of get a little worried, because I'm like, okay, well, now what's going to happen? Like I was expecting this to happen for the week. It happened in 2 days. So then I lay off that pair.
Exactly. So like what's possible the next few days or the next few hours is like, who knows, they could probably drop even worse or have like a pullback, that kind of thing.
That's exactly it. And that's why when I look at stuff like that, like that's why I'm always wary. But then like in the morning, you'll always find like small ranges. Like we can always find like small ranges. But what I'm always doing, and I tell people this, is when you're trading ranges, you can never get the whole range. So say for example, and people always ask me this, they say, what's your range? And I say range is your beginning to your end of the move, right? So if you look at filling like a hourly range, the hourly range is probably like 25 pips as an example.
Yeah.
You have to look at, from a probability standpoint, how many times out of 10 are you going to catch that exact move? Because that means your entry has to be perfect and your exit has to be
perfect. Exactly. So like within that kind of range, like I'll probably say like around 17 to 18 pips would be like a good median between trying
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. So then what you say is, okay, so then you say to yourself, okay, so I'm going to trade for 18 pips. I'm going to try for that range. But then what you do is, and then people say, well, what if it goes deeper? Well, we don't know that it's going to go deeper. We can never tell that. Like people always say, oh, it's going to go here. And then everyone jumps up and down when they say, oh, yes, it's going there, right? Like, surprise, I'm the greatest analyst in the world. Yeah. No one ever says, oh, shit, it didn't go there. I'm wrong. Everyone always just toots their horn. But what I'm saying is that's where you open a couple of positions, and that's why I tell people open 2 positions, let one hit your target, your safe target, and then move your other one and just hold it until it dies, right? Yeah. But a lot of people, the biggest problem with a lot of new traders is they're so busy executing, they're not thinking through the whole process. Like they're not going through that process.
I think people are too busy trying to actually impress people on Instagram, trying to take that. No. I swear to God, like, and the same thing happens to me every now and then also. So that's why at times I gotta kind of calm down. So like a lot of people I see them now, like they just try to make profit just to take a screenshot, just to post on Instagram or Facebook and everything. All right. I've noticed a lot of times when I have done that, that's why like I'd rather wait till my overall move is done, or I'm like super up in pips, so it doesn't like lose my focus, because there's certain times when I'll be in the middle of a move, I'll take a screenshot, and then when I go back on the charts, it pull back against me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, God damn. Yeah. So, and I've seen that, like the past couple positions that I've taken, I've seen that. So it's like, I'd rather wait till I'm done with the move, and then, if I want to, I'll post and everything. But at the same time, if you're trying to toot your horn too early, that's when you could like lose focus of what you're actually trying to really accomplish on the charts. So
yeah, no, that makes total sense. I think Instagram, and I've told this to a lot of people, and I say this on my lives, Instagram has really poisoned Forex. Not like 100% bad, but like when I started off, like I knew you, like I followed you, I followed like a couple other people, but I wasn't looking at your profits. Like I was never looking to see how much money you were making. I was looking at more of what your analysis was, like how your thought process was working, because you provided a lot of just like meaty facts. Like even when you post, like, and this is the thing, a lot of people don't do a lot of deductive reasoning. It's like, even if somebody posts like a profit shot, like when you post, like say for example, you make like $3,000 on a position. People are focused on the money, right? But I guarantee you 9 out of 10 people don't go back into the chart and plot your entry and your exit to learn how you made that. They're focused on the fact that, and that's what I used to do with you. That's what I used to do with a lot of your charts, is like I would see that you make profit, and in my head I'm like, okay, this guy, like whatever, he's making whatever he is, right? But then what I was like, okay, I'm like, how is he doing this? Like, how is he doing this consistently? And I was able to do that with your chart, your profits, some other people's profits, and then I started to realize, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what they saw. Because you can start to see patterns, because every trader has a pattern. When they're trading, you start to realize it's like, okay, they entered here, exit here. If you go through 3 or 4 time frames, you start to recognize why they did what they did, right? Like if people went through my profit charts or my profits, they would see, oh, Ted did this. Oh, Ted got stopped out here, because a lot of people are like, oh, how'd you only get 1 pip? It's like they didn't realize I was going for a bigger move, but I got stopped out, right? Exactly. Like it's a thing too. Yeah.
That's why at times, like all the time, I stress, like I don't focus on one time frame. Like whenever a person asks me like, hey, like what time frame do I trade on? I say I use all time frames for a certain reason at a certain time, because I never know what time frame is going to make me be able to analyze a certain area inside the market. You know what I'm saying? So like if a person is going to be going back and like seeing where I took entries, I exited and everything, you got to really be understanding your time frame correlation, because throughout that entire time that I'm entering and exiting, I could have been on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15, the H1, and so on. So trying to analyze the entire move.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll find that a lot of people just have to, like new traders, you have to get rid of the noise. It's the hardest thing you have to do, but I just find in the last like 2 years especially, like everybody just posts charts.
Yeah.
And people get mad at me because they always say, "Oh, Ted, you go on a rant." It's like, no, I don't go on rants. I just try and educate people because I think it's important that like as a community, like like I respect you immensely. Like for me, like you're one of the people that I look up to because 3 years ago I was nothing. Like I was coming out of working full time. I was learning this trading, and I understood it because I have a finance degree and I worked in institutions, but there you still need a hand holding. Like you still need bearings. Like you need to figure out where you need to be, right? And a lot of times people say to me, they're like, Ted, well, why do you get so angry? It's like more of like the fact that I feel it's my duty to set an example, right? So like if people are saying to me, they're saying, okay, Ted, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? It's not that I'm getting mad. It's just, I don't want people to fall into traps if they don't have to. Right, like if you're gonna come to me, and it's like the same. It's the reason why I show you respect. I show everybody respect because you're trying to do good, right? And it's like like WSA, great program. I honestly don't know anything about it, but I hear people think it's a great program. Forex Family, great program. You don't know anything about it, but you hear great things. I don't throw shade on you because I don't need to, because there's going to be 1,000 people coming to you, 1,000 people coming to me. But the fact that there's choice available, and there's reputable, like, people that are just trying to help, that's more important for this culture than it is saying, okay, who made more, who made less. Because I mean, like when you look at what you do, you do your like 5 lot, 3 lot, 10 lot, whatever. You're living a comfortable life. Like you can't knock that. You can't knock that. And that's what a lot of people are trying to do. And I've always told people is like, people will respect you for the things that you do, not how you perform. Exactly. It's about delivering. It's about, giving value. Exactly. Because you give so much value, but, and this is what people are always afraid of. People are afraid of giving out the Holy Grail. There's no Holy Grail, right? It's just like, you do your thing, and it's like, man, like when I saw what you did, like I saw you come up from literally nothing. Like I watched you, like you had your M3, you were doing this, and then like I see you like 2 years later with a Porsche. Like that's value in itself for yourself. And it's the same thing. Like I talk to Sean Lee all the time from Astro, and everyone gives them shade. I gave them shade too, because you know what? I told him flat out. He came to Toronto and we sat down and we talked, and I said, I hate your guts, right? I said that to his face. He started laughing. He's like, why? I said, because you guys are very, very good marketers. Yeah. And he said, yeah. He said, but and then we went through the history of everything, and we started talking, and it's like he started to school me on sort of how things work in life, right? Because they've been in the game so long and they've done their marketing stuff like that. And then basically what happened was, he's like, I'm going to test out your brokerage, and the man ran up 500,000, and then people came to me and they're like, oh, he's fake. I'm like, no, he was real. Like I watched his trades because I got the trading report every day for my brokerage. The man was deep like 30, 40, 50 pips on 50 lot trades. Yeah. Like he made good money. He pulled out like 80,000. So like for me, it's like when people say, well, this is a fake trader, this is a bad trader, this is a good trader, it's like, man, people have bad days, people have good days. And like for me, it's like that he ran up 500,000, he blew the rest of it. Like who cares? But the fact that he was able to do it, you got to give the man credit where credit's due, and that's what I said. Yeah, and it's the same thing, right?
I think some people are just so like fixated on like trying to make all winners on a certain kind of trader. Like I have my losses, I have my bad months, bad weeks, but I also have my fucking great days and great weeks. You know what I'm saying? But it's the main fact that you're not gonna always be just win every single time. Like those of us like me, you, Sean, and so and so. And
you're gonna have your days.
Like. We're all very, very popular in our industry, but at the same time, it's not as if we're like that god. But
that's the other thing too. Exactly. It's like like people look at you and they're like, oh, you had a bad day, or you have this or have that, and it's just like, man, people just want to beat you down to a pulp. Like I lost 400,000 back in March trading on my brokerage. And people were just sending me hate after hate. I literally took a week and a half out. And I was just like, man, like, don't these guys realize I made millions from trading? Like I had a bad month. I made it all back now, but it's just like the hate that you get, and it's like suddenly you don't know how to trade. I'm like, like LeBron James has a bad game, and then that's it.
You kind of see who was really there for you to support you, or to actually try to bash you. Like once that kind of thing happens, kind of like what happened to me back in January. Actually, January. Do you know how many people I kicked out of Wall Street Academy? Do you know how many people I kicked out of fucking Wall Street Academy, my own group, because they started throwing shade at me for no reason?
And
Like,
the funny thing was too, I remember when I talked to you about that, the first thing I asked you is like, man, what can I do to help you? And
yeah, yeah,
I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Like
yeah,
we talk on Instagram, social
yeah,
media. Like I consider you a friend from social media. If we meet in person, definitely we'll chill. But it's not we're not riding and dying for each other.
yeah.
Like, I don't turn around and wake up and send you a text message going, "Hey baby, I love you," right? Like it's none of that, right? But it's just, when you think about it, it's just like, but it's more of a community thing. It's like you got to stand
1,000%.
beside the people that are making things greater for everybody else and the
1,000%.
pillars of the community. And that's what I want people to understand is, yeah, you may not like this person, but you can't fault the process and what they've built out of nothing. Because you've built everything out of nothing. I've built everything out of nothing. There's so many people that built something out of nothing, never trying to copy someone else or emulate, just doing your own thing and
Yeah,
providing value. And
yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing. And I've always been a strong proponent. I've told people is like, whatever you want to build, I'm there to support people.
yeah,
I help people all the time. Like, you reach out to me, you have questions, we talk, we do stuff, but it's just like, that's the real part of building and being a leader is
yeah,
giving those people opportunity where people like they start throwing shade on you. It's like, man, you don't have to be jealous of me. Do
yeah,
your thing. Like be big. Like you want to open up Wall Street Academy, like the space version. Q's not going to say no, don't do it. Challenge that. Like you're not going
yeah,
to be pissed off. You're going to you still own your thing. You're still
yeah.
doing your thing. And that's why I tell
Exactly.
people all the time. I'm like, man, you want to go leave Forex family and build something big? Go do it.
Yeah,
Like this for me is the greatest thing and you know this too as an educator is when you see your traders lighting fire and making money, that's the real benefit. Like that's the
yeah,
real thing that you get from it. And you know that deep down inside, like that makes you happier than you making like $5,000 in a day because
yeah.
you've
Because
given a skill to someone else who you didn't even know.
whenever I could wake up and like read, like, because I could literally post testimonials all fucking day, and like that literally like warms my heart because just knowing that a person came from a bad situation to now like they're actually like providing for their families and friends and that kind of shit, like that's awesome to me now because like you're pretty much what I was a couple years ago, what I'm saying, working at Target, and now pretty much I could do like what I want to do when I want to do it. It's
Yeah.
just going through that process of life, but making life a little bit easy for you, but also being able to add value to what you have going on also.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
and it's one of those things, and I mean, you probably came from this too, like the epiphany of when you're like financially sound or you're comfortable or you've
Yeah,
achieved sort of what you have, right?
yeah.
You start to realize like what's next because I guarantee you felt empty. Like once you buy like all your cars, you buy all your fancy stuff, you go on trips, there's
What's
still an
next?
empty feeling. There's still an
What's
empty
next?
feeling because you're the individual, same cloth as me, is you like to build. Like you want to keep building to the next level. And a lot of people I think on Instagram don't understand that about a lot of like influencers or the leaders in the Forex community. It's not about how much we can trade. It's
Yeah,
how much can we build?
yeah,
Like for me, we always joke around like in our groups when we talk, we always talk about like Forex on Instagram as the universe. Like
yeah,
we got Planet Cuebanks, Planet AstroFX, Planet Forex Family. Like there's all
yeah,
these planets in the universe, and you sort of just bounce around planets. You check
yeah,
to see how people are doing and stuff like that. But that's how I feel about Instagram. Like if you drew like a road map or like a country map of
yeah,
Instagram, you'd see like you're a metropolitan city. I'm a metropolitan city. You got like little villages coming. You got like the bad areas you want to stay away from, like, the scammers. This is like the dark alley, right? Like I always look at it that way. Like my mind works on different levels. Like I'm
yeah,
sorry, but that's how I think of it, right? So like that's why like sometimes I like to go visit like Cuebanks City, see what he's doing. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. Like I didn't know that. Like because I learned
That
stuff even
that's
from
some
other
deep shit.
people. I've messaged other people and I've told them, I'm like, man, I just learned something from you. Like they posted something randomly on Instagram. And then I looked at it for like a couple of seconds and I said, oh, that's interesting. Like I didn't even realize that. And I go back and I start testing it because I don't sleep then for 5 hours trying to figure it out. And then it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it was just like a little nugget,
A
right?
little, yeah,
Yeah,
a
and
crumb that
yeah,
helped
it's
out.
just a
Yeah,
crumb, but for me, it was like a piece of the puzzle that I was missing. It's like I went to McDonald's and I got Boardwalk and Park Place. Now I won like the McDonald's challenge on Monopoly, right? It's like that's basically it, right? But I mean, I just wish there is more people who would take that into consideration, and that's the trying what I tell like because there's people that like are soldiers for Forex family that, man, if we send them out on a mission, these guys will like assassinate everybody. Like it's
yeah,
like, okay, and it's like I always tell people, and we chat in the groups, I'm like, guys, just don't worry about me. Like if people throw hate on me, I said I'll take care of it. Like let me deal with it. You
yeah,
guys don't need to do it. Like don't worry about it. Like I can defend myself. I'll speak on my behalf. Just because I don't want people to like keep creating more animosity or creating problems. It's like, I'll squash the problem. Like, I know what the problem is, and it's not me. It's their personality. It's struggles that they're going through, and it has nothing to do with us. Yeah.
Like their negativity, like how I posted this morning and everything. Like if you want to be positive or negative in your life, or even like towards another person, it takes the same amount of energy. You know what I'm saying? But some people actually just always try to throw shade on somebody else, their negativity, and they waste time out of their life to, you know, beat down somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's actually making things happen. And it always kind of like, it always like confuses me. Like, bro, like, do you have anything going on with your life to talk down on another person? It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Trust me. Like, and it's always certain people in this niche and everything at times that just aren't really satisfied with what they have going on, and so they'll throw shade on somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? Sometimes it's funny. Like, I mean, like when people see me, like when we go out for dinner and stuff like that, they're always asking me, like, "Man, Ted, how do you deal with this stuff?" I'm like, I just laugh. Like, come on, there's a bunch of random. It's a bunch of random people with a bunch of you don't know them at all.
These people are digital.
And it's like I just laugh because it's like sometimes I like to go and prod a bit because I like to see if what my analysis of that person is correct. Like if I say something to somebody, will that trigger them? Like that's what I'm waiting to do. Like I like to trigger people because I like to test your own internal will. Because as a trader, your emotions are tested all the time. So like you're gonna come throw shade on me. Trust me, the market throws shade on me all day. Like I sit in drawdown going, I'm like, holy shit, like I'm in like 30K drawdown. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Right? And then, you know, trust me, what I tell people, like people look at my charts and I show my trades. I'm like, yeah, I was in drawdown over here. Like, obviously there's bad days. I take losses and things like that. And it's just like, man, that's worse than some random guy on the internet telling me, hey, Ted, you're short. Like, I'm like, oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
No, yeah, because remember, like all these people that's online, like in reality, they're digital. You know what I'm saying? They're not real until you actually like and my friend had told me this like years ago. He says until you can actually shake someone's hand that you actually meet online, then they're not real yet. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
no, agreed.
That's what it is. Like
it is.
If you can't shake that person's hand, then they shouldn't even affect it or impact or discourage you in any kind of way on what you have going on.
Yeah.
Because they're digital, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody can say anything on Instagram or Facebook because they're words. They're things that anybody can type. I could say, "Fuck, bitch, this and that" to somebody, and mean nothing because anybody can type those same exact words.
Yeah, and it's so true. And I mean, I look at that, but more importantly, it's just I wish people would understand that everybody has their own journey. Like what you were saying earlier, is everybody has their own journey. Some people have more time than others to study. Some people have less time. Some people come from a good math background or a good finance background. Other people don't. And the biggest thing that you can do as a trader, a new trader, is, you know, be humble and ask questions. Like always just ask questions. Don't be afraid. Be curious and really try and break that mold. And don't get upset when you're not progressing, because you are progressing, because the whole point of falling is so that you fall forward. And a lot of people don't realize that is, you know, they get stuck in a rut or they're taking losing trades. It's like, but every time you take a trade, you should be learning from that and you should be expanding your knowledge. And I think what happens is people that are younger, they don't have that sense of process. And that's the biggest thing I try and teach people is you have to understand that trading is a process. So you have to put yourself in that process mindset. It's not just execution. It's the whole story behind it. I played poker, like I played poker since I was 18. So you always had to think like a step ahead or a step behind, or like, how am I going to manage this? Like I'm in a tournament, like you play tournaments different. If you're in the front, you know, you're at the early stage of the tournament, middle stages, late stages, final table, and you have to make decisions. And it's funny because I made a decision. I was, you know, I was in Venetian. I was at a $2,500 tournament back in 2011. Final table, last 6 people. I went all in with pocket kings on a 10-10. It was some stupid board, and he almost folded because he only had a straight. It was like 10-10, 8-7, something or other, and he ended up having a straight. But it was like, for me, that was my lesson learned of like, I put my money in with the best hand. I thought I had the best hand, but the outcome wasn't favorable. Like I didn't win. But what did I learn from that? I took information back, but more importantly, it's like I got from you know, starting with 300 people down to 6, right? So I
Yeah.
finished 6th place, right?
That's impressive.
It's funny. You can see that result online. I always say that. I won like 3 tournaments in Vegas when I was younger.
Yeah.
But it's more of like, people will be like, oh man, I wish I would have won. I was more of like, man, how did I get here? Like, I couldn't even remember what I did on day 2. Like, I didn't realize because it was a 3-day tournament. I didn't even realize how I got to the final table on day 3. Like, I was just like, it was all a blur. And that's how trading is sometimes, right? Because when you win money or you make money, like, you know, you're like, how did I do that? Like, every week I wake up and I'm like, how am I going to make money this week? Am I going to make money? Like, I don't know. And that's what a lot of people have to realize, is they have to really go back and always study that process and understand that this is a long journey, and someone will run faster than you. There's always going to be someone running faster than you, but there's also someone always behind you too.
1000%. Damn.
Yeah.
That's some real shit.
Yeah.
Always somebody behind you. 1000%, bro.
Yeah. No,
God.
it's, you know,
Yeah,
it's
because
important.
like it's like so much happens, you know, in the time that you're in that mindset of going through that process, that you can't really remember every single step that you actually took. But when you're in that zone, you know what to do and how to go about it. You know?
Yes, it becomes subconscious, and it's the idea of putting correct habits in your brain all the time.
God, that's some real shit, man. Yeah, because so like, does anybody actually go through a time that they actually are they're trading, and they just kind of go in that zone? Because like, whenever I'm trading, I go on my iMac, I put on some music. After that, I'm in a zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really like recall what's going on at every single second, but I know like what I'm looking for, how I'm looking for it. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It might be hours. I don't know, but it's just a process that I actually put my mind in, so I can actually you know, be zoned in.
It's you compare it to, like, if you look at athletes, right? You see like LeBron James or Kevin Durant or anybody, they come into the arena, they got headphones on, it's like focus, it's like game time. And a lot of people don't realize that you got to get into that routine. It's like in the morning, I wake up at 6:30. Half the time I beat my alarm because my body automatically wakes up at 6:30. I'm in the kitchen eating breakfast, getting ready, and then like when I'm trading down in my office, it's like, okay, like I got to focus. And it's like I'm scanning everything. I'm doing everything that I do every single day, and people don't realize that. And that's why I always laugh. I'm like, man, how are people trading from their phone? Because like I can barely trade on 3 monitors.
Yeah.
And because like I'm flipping back different things, and I'm going through all these different permutations in my head. Like I'm going through all these different ideas, all this different probability of like, okay, why would we go to this level? Like I'm constantly, this is the easiest thing that you can do as a person in life, is always ask why.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Why are we doing this?
You have to know like why does this happen? Like what makes this happen? All that other
right.
shit. Like, because even like when it comes time like to even learn trading, you got to figure out, like, you can see a pattern, but you got to understand what makes that pattern.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like what makes it push? Why does it continue? All of that stuff. So asking why, is definitely like the most important thing.
Yeah, and that's what I look at, and that, like, for me, and that's why, like, when people say, oh, how'd you get consistent, is because all I sat every day, and it's exactly what you did. It's like you look at charts, and all I would do is ask why. I'm like, and I would sit back and I would look and say, okay, the market moved there, why? And then I would look to the left, or I'd look up and I'd be like, oh, that's why, okay. And then when you start seeing the same scenarios over and over again, it's like it becomes so much more clearer on what's going on or what's going to happen. And you know that maybe you're going to be wrong, but that's okay. But how many times out of 10 are you going to be right in that scenario? Because you've seen it happen. There's always anomalies, right? You always see it, like, you're like, oh, this is going to drop or this is going to go up, and it doesn't happen. You're like, what? How come? Like, that's why sometimes when I see something happen, I'm like, really? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This is supposed to happen. Like, you're expecting it because you've seen it happen so many times. You know what? You take your loss, you take your lump, and then you move on to the next one.
Yep. Goddamn. Yeah. Somebody said Q's in class right now. I'm always in class, man.
I'm in class too. Like, I'm sitting here listening too.
Trust me, I'm always in class because I mean, Ted does something that I don't do. You know what I'm saying? And he has a lot more experience in his field than I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the same time, like, I'm always gonna be willing to learn from anybody. It doesn't even matter who it is. It could be a random person on these comments. You know, I could definitely learn something from them in some kind of way.
And I think that's what people have to realize, is you always keep your eyes open, your ears open, and be accepting. I've learned so much. Like, when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I was so angry as a person, and I was not comfortable reaching out to people, asking for things, because I could do it on my own. And a lot of times, even to this day, I still do a lot of things on my own. Like I'm a loner when it comes to that. Like people ask me, like, Ted, you work so hard. It's like, because it's like if someone else has done it, there's no reason why I can't do it, right? Like that's what I look at. It's like, you know, if somebody's built a brokerage, like that's basically how my life evolved. It's like, okay, I see all these people trading. Why can't I do this? Like what's so special about this? And I dissect it and I pull it back and I re-engineer it. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then I put my own mix on it, right? I'm like, okay, I can do this. Because when I started playing poker when I was 18, I was learning from my neighbors. We were playing together, and I started learning from other players. And then I got to know like some good online players, but I couldn't play like them because they were really aggressive. I was never aggressive. I never had aggressive tendencies. I was very conservative. So I'm like, I tried to play aggressive. I lost lots of money because I didn't understand how they were playing aggressive. Yep. So then I played too conservative, and then I was like, I'm not making any money. So then I started to mix it up, and I found my own way. And then when I came to trading, I had no one really teach me the right way to trade. I just figured that this made sense to me. Like when people ask me, they're like, oh, you stack trades. I just, like when I first started learning, I would take one trade and I would look at that trade and I'd watch it and I'm like, oh man, I made like $100. And I would think to myself, I'm like, but if I put like, I could, if I put like 4 positions, I would make $400.
You same bias. You still have
That's
same
right,
bias, same direction, everything.
That's right.
All you're doing is upping your risk for that same bias. And,
that's right, yeah. And I was saying to myself, and as I got better, I'm like, okay, and I learned like simple logic, like the higher time frames are always the stronger time frames. 1,000%. So I'm like, there's not going to be many times this is going to change. And then I started doing that, and then people said, well, why are you stacking trades? And then I realized, I'm like, I can let a few trades run. I can close them early. Like I can manage my risk better because the one trade for me, like, I mean, I was working full time. I was earning 6 figures. Like I don't come from like nothing. Like there's no like sorry sob story from me. Like I didn't turn around one day and be like, oh man, I was broke and I had no money. And all of a sudden I traded, became a millionaire. I had money. Like I wasn't broke, but I was like, I just wanted to get away from that rat race. I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, I was like, okay, and then I could risk more. I could do this. And then I see all these new traders trying to do this, and it's like, guys, like you don't have to do it the same way. Like figure out what makes sense for you, right? Yeah. Like that's basically what it came down to. Yeah, and then
make it your own.
I looked around and I was like, oh, I'm the only one doing this. I'm like, I guess I don't know what I'm doing. I just started doing it, and then like people are like, wow, this is working. I'm like, I guess so. I don't know. Like it is what it is, right? So.
No, listen, I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. It's always just being creative whenever you're on the charts. Like, just like make your understanding of the charts, like unique in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever even like I'm analyzing my charts, like I just see it, I understand it, and I just go about it. But that same analysis, like that same bias might be, looked at a bit different from somebody else that's trading a different kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's all just the same chart at the end of the day, but the way how you look at it is what really, really matters. As long as it's right, that's all that really.
Yeah, and the whole idea of profit taking, I think that's another thing that people need to understand too. Like, it doesn't matter how much or how little you make, as long as you make profit.
Yeah.
Like if you make $1, you make $2, you make $10. Like it's such a big dick swinging contest on like, I caught like 500 pips. It's like. Great, like you had a great trade. Like no one's gonna like. This is the biggest thing I want people to take away is like nobody is gonna be upset with you for being successful. I want you to cut those pips, right? But don't come back at me and say, well, you only caught 3. I'm like, I'm good with that. Yeah. Like some days I look at I'll look at my charts. I'll adjust my lot size. Like you'll see sometimes I do like a 50 lot, 10 lot, whatever, because I don't see the charts, but I see a setup, but it's not a high probable setup, but I know I can navigate my way through it, right? It's sort of like if you were to go play like basketball, right? It's like, okay, these guys can play, right? So you'll play ball with them and you'll play. But then sometimes you want to play with the guys that are better than you. So you sort of just take shots. And sometimes I'll do that, right? I'll lower my lot size and I'll be like, I want to get a trade in today. I think I can get something out of this, but I'm not going to try and risk full throttle with it, right? Like depending on my but that's what
I am on whenever I'm trading GJ. I'll trade it, but I'm gonna drop my lot size like crazy because
exactly. And I mean that's the thing, right? So when you look at a good thing with GJ, here's a good tip for you. If you follow GU, GU will be your stronger move than GJ. But if you watch GU, when the US dollar gets super strong against the pound, the Japanese will follow after GU. So when you see GU fall, GJ follows behind. but GJ falls harder and faster than GU. So like for every like maybe 2 or 3 pips that GU gives, GJ gives like 10. But it goes the same way. It goes the opposite way, right? So if GU rips right back up like 5 pips, GJ rips up like 50 pips. So you have to just be watching that. Yeah.
More back testing. And now I got to be on the charts this weekend and everything.
But see, the thing was though, I only picked that up because someone in our groups was trading GU. And I was like, they're like, oh, they were talking about how much it was moving. And then I had GJ open and I was like, wait a second. And I started to watch the charts both at the same time. I'm like, okay, GU moved. Oh, GJ just moved. And I was watching that happen, right? And then obviously the correlation with the countries. US is really strong right now. The pound is very weak. Japanese is the safe haven. The pound is weak, right? It's just, the manipulation at that point.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
Shit. I mean, do you believe how important do you feel like correlation is between pairs? Because at one point in time, like I was really, really big on correlation, like back in 2016. But then over time, you kind of see like how certain pairs don't really respect the correlation. Like when it comes to inverse pairs or correlated pairs, they don't really respect it 1,000%. So like, how do you feel with correlating pairs?
So when I look at major daily levels, right? So if I look at like pairs that are correlated. So the easiest pair to correlate is usually like gold and UJ.
UJ, yeah.
Because gold goes up, UJ goes down. And when they're not correlated, I stay away from both of them.
Okay.
Because of the fact that one of them is lying. That's what we always phrase. That's what we always term. Someone's lying here. It's whether it's gold's lying or UJ's lying, someone's lying, right? And I stay away from that. But yeah, I believe that there's correlation, but you have to watch. Like I would say gold moves before UJ because gold is backed by obviously the government. It's a metal. It moves differently than a currency. And a lot of times when gold is trending down, UJ is being manipulated to get a better price by the institutions, right? So that's why like UJ really struggled to move up this week, and it moved down and moved back up because I think it's waiting for a bigger. It's waiting for a bigger move. Right, and that's what happens. So you sort of, if you're going to trade either one of those pairs, I tend to trade the one that's trending harder, that has a clear trend. Like gold had a really clear trend this week. You couldn't really mess up if you sort of manage your trade accordingly. But yeah, I think a lot of times there's that correlation. But as soon as something goes out of correlation, I don't touch those pairs until they go right back in.
Don't bother. Yeah, because like I kind of explained that I think it was like 2 weeks ago on like the CBD actually on Wall Street Academy. I was saying that like. Whenever like actually UJ was consolidating for like around a couple of days, and I was like, oh yeah, like pretty much it's trying to build up a bigger time frame pattern. In a sense that's why it consolidated so long because it needed so much volume to actually build that higher time frame. And not a lot of people actually understand that. Like the markets would actually consolidate for a long ass time on lower time frames until it actually builds up for like that bigger move that it's trying to actually do based off of a higher time frame setup. Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is people have to realize is the markets also give you hints, right? Like when you see the market, when you see the market moving in a certain way, and it starts to like, I use GJ a lot. GJ is a perfect example. Like on Thursday, when GJ made that massive move up on Thursday morning, it's like if you looked at the smaller time frames, you could see like a rumbling. If you go into your charts and you look at GJ at like 9:15 just before the New York Open, you can see 5-minute candles, and they're all just bouncing off this support. They're all bouncing one after the other. There's like 4 or 5-minute candles, and then the next 5-minute candle breaks that little like resistance in the 5-minute, and then the 15-minute, like the next 5-minute candle just flies up. So when you start seeing that, you gotta believe that things are happening, and I think people need to recognize that. They need to realize that sometimes the market gives you those hints.
But to even like get those kind of hints, you have to be real open on like what time frames that you actually plan on trading on, because some people will just stay on one time frame the entire time and miss the hints on those time frames.
It's true, because I scan the time frames, because when people turn around and they say, okay, what time frames use? I use a lot of time frames. My bias is always against the daily time frame, because it takes too much effort for the daily to switch direction. So usually if we're up for the daily, we're going to continue up.
Yeah.
If we're down for the daily, we're going to continue down. It's just you have to watch the smaller time frames all turn at the same time.
Yeah.
That's another mistake new traders make is they'll look and be like, oh, daily's down, but 4 hours up. Which way do I go? It's like, well, no, you don't go anywhere yet. You got to wait for the 4 hour to switch too.
Yeah.
Like you have to be in sync. The easiest way to trade is have all your time frames in sync. Yeah. And you'll notice that, like if you back test all your results, your best results came from everything was in sync. Like 100%. Your 1 hour time frame was in sync, your 15-minute time frame, your daily was going down. It was just like you're just cruising down the highway. The times you lose, there was like a little bit of consolidation, there was a little bit of false breakout. You're like, it didn't make sense, right?
Indecision on higher time frames, all that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah.
Nah, I'm with it, man. 1,000%, man. Everyone is calling you Drake's dad.
Drake's dad? I'm not Drake's dad.
Well, you're Canadian, right?
Yeah, I know Boy Wonder. Boy Wonder grew up on my street. Back when I was younger, we all lived on the same street. It was funny.
What is Boy Wonder?
Oh, you don't know Boy Wonder? He's Drake's original producer.
Oh shit, that's lit.
Yeah. It's funny because when he was 11 for Christmas, he got a keyboard. He was in his garage. So like in my neighborhood, like we were in an older neighborhood where everyone just hung out in their garages, and he would just be in the keyboard on in his garage. It was hilarious because he literally
So you seen the come up then is what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was always doing that. And it's funny. My brother one day tweeted out to him. Sent him a tweet and he responded because they're good friends. They're the same age. They responded, and like my brother got like 2,000 new followers because they thought he was someone new, and my brother's like just some regular guy that works a 9 to 5. So it was so funny. My brother's like Samuel messaged me and I was talking to him, and then all these people started following him. I'm like, yeah, you know who he is, right? He's like, yeah, but he's like, why are they gonna follow me for? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's funny though. Like when I see people come up and I know these people, it's just like, man, they're just regular people.
It's all love, man. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's regular people that had a lot of passion for what they're doing, and
exactly
they stuck with it. That's about it.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking, what do you think about Bitcoin?
So I love Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I love
cryptos or overall cryptos.
Yeah, I love the idea of crypto. Why?
Yeah, me too.
First of all, my brokerage takes it, so we make fast money fast, right? Because money goes in and out quick. It's a good transportation utility. The problem is, or a transportation medium. The problem is it hasn't touched regulation yet, and that's the biggest problem. Is everybody last year it was the wild wild west. People made millions. There's no about. Oh, sorry, my basement's getting redone. That's why. But people made millions from that, and I respect that. Like, don't get me wrong, but what we saw last year, we're not seeing this year, and that's what people have to recognize. People have to adjust. But the problem is, crypto's so new. There's no history to say what's going to happen next, right? With the markets, we know like in March, like the markets move faster. Summer markets slow down. December markets slow down, and then we reset again because we've seen that happen so many times, but we haven't seen this happen with Bitcoin. Like people argue and be like, oh, it dropped like 90% and went up 1,000. It's like, yeah, but that was manipulation because there was an influx of retail money. And what I mean by retail money is there was like, it became a novelty. Everyone jumped on board. There wasn't anyone that said, it wasn't anybody that turned around and said, hey, like Bitcoin's the best now. It was just like, oh, you hear about this thing, Bitcoin, you can make like $1,000 or whatever, right? Yep. And that's what a lot of people didn't realize. But from a transfer medium standpoint, it's the best thing in the world. It's amazing. Like, I mean, I was looking at like building an exchange off a trader's domain, opening an exchange so that people can buy Bitcoin and crypto and then move it around and do that. Like, it makes sense. I mean, would I hold it? Probably not. Like, I don't believe it's worth holding. But I mean, if you're holding it, make sure you can afford to hold it, right? Like I wouldn't turn around and tell somebody, oh, invest in it because you can become a millionaire. It'd be hold it, trade it, do whatever you need to do with it, just like any other financial vehicle.
It was to the point that like I was running into people and they were saying, yeah, like my uncle said to just throw some money here in Bitcoin and this and that. I'm like, do you even know how to read the charts? Like you don't understand it? And these always like 90% of the time they would always say, no, I don't understand it, or I don't know how to read the charts, but my cousin said this, and then I could throw money here and there. I'm just like, wow, that's crazy because you're gonna lose money.
But and so here's the funny thing about that is it's the same thing that happens with like the equity market, like stock markets. is essentially people that have to push it because they need to get to a certain price. And that's what I said about Bitcoin. And when people said, oh, it's at 20,000, it's going to go to 50,000. And I said, no. And the reason why it won't go, and here's the logical answer, right? So if I said to you, Q, I say, okay, if I give you $1,000, are you going to be happy? You're going to be like, okay, I'll be good, right? Like just hypothetically speaking, maybe you'll be happy with $1,000. But what if I say, Q, I'm going to give you $10,000? You'd be like, okay, that's really good, right?
Yeah.
But what if I tell you, I'm going to give you $100,000, right? Then you're super excited. But that's the human mind, right? So everybody that bought Bitcoin at like $5,000, when it went up to $20,000, they made $15,000 on their investment. Some people didn't just buy one coin, they bought 10 coins, 20 coins. So suddenly now you got like 150,000, you have like $1 million. At that point, you're like, man, I just made money. There's no point in me holding it anymore. Like I can now live comfortably. Like everybody always has an end goal. And that was the biggest problem is when you have that end goal, if there's no one else that has a bigger end goal, that's where the dip comes. Because everybody that got to 20,000 was like, holy shit, I just made a whole lot of money. I've never had this money before, because I guarantee you, if you ask anybody that made $1 million off of Bitcoin last year, if they did not have $1 million before they invested in Bitcoin. I can guarantee you.
It was a come up. It was like
a
blessing.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. If from a psychological level, if you looked at people 2 years ago that invested in Bitcoin last year, they were driving a Honda Civic. Now they're driving Lambos, they're driving everything because they got the come up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
I think those people that actually bought Lambos actually like had the biggest come up because they bought a car that was worth $400,000, and then now it's still worth that same amount. But
but the Bitcoin's not.
Exactly, it dropped like hell. So I feel like they had the biggest come up of around that time period.
Yeah, but and that's what I tell people is we're not going to have another one of those because everybody that had that come up took what they needed, and a whole bunch of people lost on that come up.
Yeah.
So that money's dead. The dumb money's dead because nobody's going to turn around now that lost at 20,000 that now it's at like 7,000 or 6,000. No one's willing to reinvest. And the people that were on the sidelines going, oh man, what if it goes to 30 or 40,000? Are sitting there going, oh man, it just dropped like 15,000. I don't want to get part of this. Yeah. So that's your market. Your market has sort of stagnated now.
I think eventually it'll get there, but I'm not sure when exactly because like the ways that like right now it's pretty much towards like the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like some people's like saying, oh, it might go to 2,000 and that kind of shit. But it's just crazy, man. Like I personally I made like around almost $100,000 on that big come up time period, which was literally nothing compared to a lot of people that I know. But at the same time, it was just like that actually make that happen. And some people weren't going to take it, but they missed out because they think that same wave is going to happen again. But in reality, that was a one-time thing, a one-time in life thing.
Well, that's exactly it. Holy cow.
Yo, I have like a minute left of this live.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, my basement's getting done. I'm going to try and jump upstairs. But that was the thing, right? So, but like your perfect example is like when you got to 100,000, you're probably like, man, this is free money. I'm done. Like, why am I doing more?
Yep. Yeah. And
right.
I remember that I withdrew and started trading Forex again with all that money.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, right? It was never a point where you're like, oh, I'm going to save this to $1 million. You're like, hey, 100,000 is good enough for me.
Yeah.
And that's what like a lot of people don't realize is that's the psychological effect of money. Nobody said, hey, we're going to hold this to $1 million. People are just like, hey, I'm happy with 100,000. Like that's money I didn't have last month.
I know a lot of people that held it and now they're sitting on their fucking ass because they were thinking that $1 million mark when in reality it wasn't really possible. It was too bullish.
Yeah. So, but I see the beast in the background. You're getting ready to go.
Oh yeah, the beast. The two beasts.
That's awesome, man.
But definitely, man. Thanks for the live, man. Really appreciate you. Thanks for everybody for coming on.
Always.
Like 400 or 500 people that was on at one time, actually. So
yeah, I know. That's crazy. We'll save it up.
I'm gonna hit y'all up. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace.